In this video, we're going to talk about introduction to Lightning Web Components. So before understanding the Lightning Web Components, we need to understand the Lightning Framework. So the Lightning Component Framework is a UI framework for developing single-page applications for mobile and desktop devices. So to create the Lightning pages, we have two programming models. One is the Aura component model that was previously used, and now the new model, that is Lightning Web Component. So Aura components use the Aura framework and Lightning Web Components use the Web Components framework. So let's see how the web started evolving from 2014. So in 2014, the browser was handling the very minimal things like events, standard elements, and rendering that I'm showing in the orange color, and rest all things were taken care by the framework. So framework was taking the more responsibility, and because of which our websites were not performance efficient. So as the web start evolving, and it comes the new era of 2019 where the JavaScript come up with the new features, and it reduced the effort of framework and taking the whole load by the browser. So it introduced many cool features in the browser. Instead of using the frameworks, you can use directly in the JavaScript. So the cool features are you can create the web components, you can create the templates that runs directly into the browser. You don't need a separate framework to run on it. They introduce the Shadow DOM, they introduce the module system, they introduce the different version of JavaScript, that is ECMAScript 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now it's 11 version. Then they introduce to handle the custom events in the browsers. Then they introduce the standard elements and the rendering, and they keep only specific things with the framework. So like specialized service, you want to perform a specialized task, that was taken care by the framework. Data services was taken care by framework, and the UI components taken care by framework. So as Salesforce saw this transformation that happens from 2014 to 2019, they introduced the Lightning Web Components that was built on the latest web standards that was introduced in 2019, and they followed the same concept. Like Lightning Web Component Framework will take care only the security, Lightning data services, and base Lightning components, and rest all things will taken care by the browser, that is web browser. And it was taking care of all the latest JavaScript features, all latest edge cutting features like modules, events, standard elements, shadow DOMs. So that's why the Lightning Web Components comes into the picture. And the people ask what's the difference between the Aura and the LWC. Like the basic difference you need to remember is in 2009, the older JavaScript come into the picture. That is the ES5 version that we were using from so long. That was the ES5 version. Before this also the JavaScript was there, but this was the most popular JavaScript that comes into the picture. That was ES6 in 2009. So Aura was using this JavaScript to build the framework, right? So that framework was too much code to write. Rendering wasn't optimized because it was using the old features of JavaScript. Modern features were not available. But in 2015, the JavaScript introduced a new version, the optimized version, that is ES6, and every year they started releasing a new version of JavaScript. So based on those concepts, we build the Lightning Web Components, and Lightning Web Components supports all the latest versions of JavaScript that are released from 2006 to 2011 to going forward. It's updating regularly. So it has the Shadow DOM power, it has the web components, it has the custom elements, it has templates and slots. So if in interview somebody asks you, you just say Aura is the older framework that was built on the ES5 version. It not have the modern features like module, classes and promises. Rendering was slow. You have to write too much code to achieve a functionality. But Lightning Web Component use the latest features of web standards, and it's a performance efficient. Rendering is with pretty cool. So that's the difference between the Aura and the LWC. Now, what is LWC? So the Lightning Web Component is a programming model for building the Lightning components, and it uses the core concepts of web standard that I showed you in the previous slide. Like it's using the all latest web standards, Shadow DOM, rendering, custom events, ES6, arrow function. There are many, like we saw in the JavaScript lectures as well. So what was the benefit actually? What benefit we were getting over the Aura in Lightning Web Component? As I said, Lightning Web Component is taking care only the small piece of tasks. If I go back to my slide, Lightning Web Component is taking care only security, Lightning Data Service and base Lightning component, and rest all is taken care by the browser. So if it taking the less tasks, so the light frame, it's a light framework. So it's not a heavy framework like Aura. If it's taking the very less task and everything is taken care by the browser, automatically the performance is very high. And then you no need to learn a different framework to develop an application in Salesforce, because Lightning Web Component use the plain JavaScript. Tomorrow, if you want to hire a new developer, you don't need to train that developer. If he knows JavaScript, he can able to write anything in the Lightning Web Component. Then the interoperability with Lightning Aura component. So the question is whether Aura will still in the use. Yes, many people use it, and you can embed your Lightning Web Component inside the Aura component, but you can't do other way around. It introduced the better testing using the Jest framework. You can write the test cases for your component to catch the bug in the early stages. Then we have a better security. Better security has many points. Actually, that's a very important point in Lightning Web Component, because in LWC, the JavaScript strict mode is enforced. Like you can't write global variables, or your variable will not host, because by default LWC enforce the strict mode. Then we have the Lightning Locker restrict that use of global object by hiding an object or by wrapping it in the secure version of the object. It also restrict access to the Salesforce global variable. So there are many security features, but you, from the interview point of view, you need to remember it provide a better security, better testing. You can interoperate with Aura component. You don't need a specialized resource. If a JavaScript resource is available in your company, you can use him for writing the web components, better performance, and a lightweight framework. So this is all about Lightning Web Component. Then its coexistence and interoperability that I already talked. Like just remember this line: Aura components can include Lightning Web Component, not the other way around. So you can't include Aura component inside the Lightning Web Component, but Lightning Web Component can go inside the Aura component. And Aura component and Lightning Web Component can coexist on the same page. And rest, the Aura component and Lightning Web Component use the same base Lightning component, same Lightning data services and all behind the scene. So the last topic for this video is like Lightning experience. Many people get confused what is Lightning experience. If somebody asks in the interview what is Lightning experience, so Lightning experience is the new user interface for Salesforce, and it is a significant upgrade for the classic view. So if you are working in your organization with this user interface, this is the Lightning experience. If you are working with this interface, this is the classic appearance. So it's a Salesforce classic view, it's a Lightning view. If somebody asks you in an interview which view you are working on, so you should say I'm working on Lightning experience or in a classic experience. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video.